A few people have asked me how I got my mega factory up and running and what does it look like. So this is a short video on that. But to give you an idea of where I came from the first game start, I decided to start mining and mining in safe areas. So the first ship I bought was a Bolo and I placed it in Neptune and it's mining hydrogen. Second app started going reasonably well, so I thought, well, I know I need the money, but I need the reputation as well. So I put 3 miners in there, all doing hydrogen. And although the money wasn't great, the reputation was brilliant, because that meant that when I started doing the Terra missions, I was at least level 10 on reputation, which is good. Then I did methane in Gaian Prophecy. We started grinding Cigaris rep, more hydrogen in the Oort cloud, and silicon in the Oort cloud, which is pretty good. So that's where I came from, grinding rep, nothing more, little bit of income and grinding rep. And you can see that Cigaris is now at 29, and that's basically through doing all this mining. The Terrans 26, which is nice because I haven't even finished off the Yucky quest yet, mission. So yeah, this just grinding rep. Oh, one of the other things I did, if you look at the Ministry of Finance, I started transferring hull parts from their factories to their ship parts, and it wasn't making a lot of money, but it was grinding reputation with them. So the Ministry of Finance are now at 19, which is pretty good for one ship. So anyway, back to the map. Let's have a look. I haven't actually explored a lot of it, as I said, but here you go. Let's zoom in, and this is Grand Exchange 1. We can see that I've got a cuck problem. There's an installation here, and there are a lot of cuck around. So that is why you can see a lot of Taladi patrols in here in this particular sector, protecting their own assets. I don't know why they keep on sending construction vessels over to me. I think they're looking for looking for work from me. One of the first ships I did buy, knowing that I was going to set up my station straight away, was my own builder. I saved hard for that, and that was the first thing I did. So if we zoom in even further, this is a big mega station, as you can see. So let's have a look at it. The game is on pause at the moment. I have done pretty much all of the teleportation stuff. I've got a little bit way to go for the terraforming, but getting there slowly. So let's have a look at the station, and here it is. It's big. I wanted everything on the research station, because this is going to be ported around different places. So I wanted to have a self-contained unit, just do everything for me, everything that I needed. These 2 defense platforms are just a little bit additional protection from the cuck, or kahak, or however you want to say it. The reason for all these solar panels, and there's 12 of them, is because down here I've got a scrap processing plant, and that takes an awful lot of energy cells to be able to start converting scrap into claytronics and hull parts. My initial thought was just to build around the research module, but I thought, no, it's just going to look a mess. So what I decided to do was to drape all the components that I need around the station rook at the top. So these are all the processing modules up the top here, and down at the bottom all the storage. And you might think that's over the top, and it probably is, but when you start building ships, it's you need a lot of stuff, you really do. So I'll show you the station setup in a second. So because you've got an awful lot of processing, you need an awful lot of miners, gas and minerals, and because of that you need to have a lot of access to the station where they can dock. So this is the first one. There it is, Terran 4 dock pier. So that gives me 4 points where large ships can dock. And then later on, as I discovered to my horror that I was getting ships were being held up trying to dock here, I put a hex dock pier on the bottom. So this gives me 6 and 4, that gives me 10 ways to dock. So that has alleviated some of the problems that I had with queues. Here's the large ship fabrication, which I went for straight away because this you can service ships as well as fabricate them. So although you can get a servicing module for large ships, it's not worth it because you can do both of them in the fabrication model. And here's the small and medium ship fabrication bay. Now I do like the Terran ones, I think they look really neat. This was the first dock I ever put on, which was this one, and then I added this one that I discovered that was when I was using medium ships. But yeah, these will go. I'm going to move these elsewhere. So that's how the station looks. There's practically everything on here that I need for the terraforming and for ship production. So what does it look like? Hairy, I would say. So I've got 12 solar panels, and they're the Teladi ones, the big ones. The tail ones are pretty useless, to be honest. And if we have a look at there, how much is being used, consumption at the moment, it's 128,000, and it's producing just a tad over it. That's because the scrap metal processor is running. When it's not running, this drops right back down again. So if you're going to go into scrap and in just a normal space where you've got 100% sun, you're going to need to have to brute force it, sadly. I've got ice coming in for water, protein, food, medical supplies, what have you. Down here we've got quantum tubes, which are all needed for ship production. Silicon wafers for those plants, 2 graphene, 2 refined metals, 2 palladium, or however you say it. Still trying to balance this, but it is ridiculously hard. Methane gas, ore and silicon coming in. The game is on pause at the moment, by the way, so that's why nothing's happening. Then you need all the these parts here, scanning arrays, which I can barely keep up when producing ships, so I might need to put another 2 more on there because they don't produce an awful lot. Plasma conductors for those. Advanced composites, well, I'm full up, so there's only one of those. Smart chips, got 2 of them, they seem to be okay. 1 engine parts. I might have to upgrade this to 2. Hull parts, I've got 5 of them. I might just stick another one on there. But that was the reason, one of the reasons for trying out scrap processing was to see how many hull parts I could actually put in. But beware, you need to pick your scrap processor with care, because there are 2 different types. One of them will create hull parts and the other one won't. So just be warned. Silicon carbide, plenty of that. I've only got one of those. So for the terraforming, we will be needing some sunflowers. So I've already kicked those off, and that is just full at the moment, so I can start getting on with that. I haven't checked the levels yet. Moving across, I have a workforce, which is not that big at the moment. I need a lot more, really, to really make it work. And I've got 2 ships, which are currently not working further to Lardia or anywhere else, because I'm trying to stockpile hull parts and scanning arrays. So I've only got 18,000. And you may think, that's loads, but it isn't, because if the Teladi come along and start building their large ships, then these just drop, can't keep up with it. Which is the reason why I might want to put 1 or 2 more scanning arrays on there. But if I do that, then you can see that these lines, I'm going to need more silicon wafers to do that. If you increase production at this stage, then you're going to need to increase production at this stage. And because you've increased here, you will need to increase back here. So that will mean more gas, more mining, more ore, more silicon to be able to keep up with it. So you're constantly balancing the station to try and keep up with demand. So the station isn't making much money at the moment. I'm just selling energy cells and water, I think. Little amounts, but they are grinding reputation, of course, which is useful. I mean, you don't make a lot of money off energy cells, to be honest, but it's reputation that's being dragged up rather than making money. If I show more, a lot more, you can see the places where I sold ships, all down here, and they just go like hotcakes. It's really quite incredible. So yeah, that's the station. All of these blueprints I have got by EMP bombing. I haven't paid for any of these at all, and I think I've got all of them now. Most of them. Swamp plants, haven't used that yet. Haven't used Nostrum oil either, or even Marja dust. I will probably do those on separate stations, but what I've been doing is going out with the ship, my geometric owl, because it's nice and fast, with about between 15 and 20 EMP bombs, and if I see something which I don't think I have, then I'll go and grab it. Yeah. So I've got 2 build modules, which is the large and small medium ships. Got all of the storage modules that I need. Habitation modules. Just go for the large ones, don't bother going for the small and medium ones if you're going to build a mega factory. That's fair policy. Docking modules. Yeah, this station had a 1 dock to begin with, just for visitors, because I didn't have any large ships in. Then I had to go for the 4 dock. Then I discovered that wasn't enough, so I went for the hexadock. Defense modules, I just bought what I wanted, or nabbed what I wanted I should say, didn't buy anything. What else we got? Processing. Yeah, these are the different processors. So one of these will produce Claytronics, and this one will do Claytronics and hull parts. So when you stick them on, beware. And then of course you've got the scrap processor, which is down here. Other modules, I tend to use these Terran ones. I like the industrial look. When I first designed this, what I did was I put inside, embedded it into the rock, found the center, and then down the whole rock asteroid I went down with verticals until one popped out the end, and then I just built the top and bottom ones so that I knew they would be in line, and then I started hanging stuff off of that. In the settings I've got 30-degree step angle. You have to, if you're going to start embedding these parts into your rock face, then you need to have the allow overlap on, otherwise it won't let you do it. So there we go. I think it's quite good. 89 production modules, rather a lot. I have 3 habitation modules, and these actually drape quite nicely down. I should say that each one of these modules is all connected to one of these base modules. Old school, if you will. You can just plonk things down anywhere within the box and it will work. They don't have to be attached, but I prefer things to be attached. I've got room for expansion here. Come out here if I need to, and I've got plenty of room underneath to stash some more storage modules if I need to. So yeah, pretty good, huh? It's a beast. It really is a beast.